Happy full moon in Pisces, everybody. Little fishies. I had to wear my Pisces purple today. Pisces is royal, spiritual. That violet and indigo colors are associated with Pisces, I think. Yeah, welcome to the workshop. Lots of crazy energy going on right now for a lot of reasons. The astrology is always lining up with major high Hebrew holidays, and that coincides with my Kabbalistic practices and observations. So it's really interesting how it's all culminating. And no matter sort of what workshops and schools of thought that I take from, it's like everyone is talking about self-reflection and deep diving right now, and to really set forward on a clean slate and trying to embody that higher version of ourself, that part of us that is really open to our potential and unencumbered and in unity and in certainty and a certain level of serenity and is in flow, instead of the version of us that we struggle against, which is always battling our patterns and going up against these same lessons. It's okay, so my Kabbalah teacher David today was talking about, in preparation for Rosh Hashanah, Teshuvah, it's all about going back and going through, your shadow, your wounds, your darkness, really going back and seeing, okay, how did I short circuit this year? Where did I go off path? Where did I go out of alignment from what's really my true purpose, my true affinity with the light? Where did I fall out of union with my higher self? And, where can I, use this as an opportunity and embrace it, enjoy, and not get down on myself, but actually be like, wow, now I can up level because I know this is my secret code. It's my cheat code here. If I can, work on this, this is going to reveal so much light for me. So Teshuvah is a joyful event, and it's an opportunity to start our new year with a fresh foot forward, where Rosh Hashanah, we go through this judgment. It's awakened in order for us to be able to receive the light that's coming in. But our participation in that is that we are recognizing all these ways that we trip ourselves up, and it's now we're done with it. We're ready to overcome, and we're ready to stop dissipating our energy and our focus and our intentions where they're just being wasted or squandered or given into things that aren't really adding value to our lives, and they're not adding value to our purpose and our legacy. And so we're really letting go in this Pisces full moon. This Pisces mutable, divine feminine energy likes to go deep, and it explores the depths and the emotions. And so we might be emotional, we might be going deep into what has been driving us, and making us either compulsive or impulsive. What has been our driving motivations? When we can become aware of those things, that's when we are really operating with a sense of free will and starting to step into our divinity and our divine selves and claiming that divine inheritance, rather than living from a base instinct of animalistic survival, in a state of fear and lack and doubt and just being reactive to a sense of desperation and struggle. And so we're really working always towards cultivating a sense of inner peace and serenity, so that we're liberated from that slavery, that darkness of struggle. And so, we are letting these things go. The more that we're aware of them, the more that we bring them out in the open, the less that they have hold or sway over us. So the mutability of Pisces and the fluidity of the water is that it's so changeable. There's so much potential to change right now, especially during Rosh Hashanah. So Rosh Hashanah is when we observe this energy, it represents the birth of creation of our existence. And on that same, in that same breath, in that same Big Bang, in that same, primal point moment, where the overflow of Creator came into being, that was the birth of the souls of all mankind. Adam in the Garden of Eden, Adam Kadmon. And so that was also the day that all the souls of mankind fell out of union with the perfect consciousness, right? That perfect sense of certainty in the Creator, where nothing ruffles our feathers, nothing worries us. We're not concerned. We don't have shame or guilt. We're just like, yeah, we can keep going forward and keep that sense of enthusiasm and childlike innocence to feel that we aren't wrong, that we aren't cursed or doomed, but that our actions need to be matured, that we simply need to go through a process of development and healing and self-mastery and discipline and devotion, right? When Jesus had the people, who were close to him, who were the closest to him, who really wanted to learn and change and take on that Christ consciousness and follow his footsteps and step and embody that Christ consciousness, those were his disciples, right? They had to put the most effort in. In Kabbalah, we call that restriction. And so the divine feminine is all about restriction. It gives boundary and structure and shape to the divine masculine. The divine masculine is just that unadulterated, pure light force coming in, and it's like, oh, I don't know what to do. I have no shape, I have no purpose, I have no focus, I have no attention. The divine feminine is silence, stillness, restriction, discipline. It gives the shape, the womb to gestate that light, that creation, that potential in, right? But not without death. Birth, life, creation cannot come without death. So the letting go, the culmination, the release, we're letting go of what needs to die, the ego shells, the shells of negativity, the grime that's built up, the limiting beliefs, the fears, the phobias, everything that's kept us weighed down and fighting against, letting it melt away so we can let go and be released. And that serenity, that peace, that's the kingdom of heaven, and that's the thing that we have to cultivate. That's the thing that we have to choose again and again and again. And that's why the rich man couldn't pass through the eye of the needle, because the eye of the needle was a passageway that merchants would have to take their camels through, and in order to get through there, they would have to let go of all their material attachments, all of the ego attachments, right? So that's what we have to let go. To pass through the eye of the needle, in order to inherit that peace within, gotta let go. We've got to let go of our attachments. So hard. Cancer moon, attached as fuck. So it's the hardest thing to do, but the secret that we learned in the Kabbalah class today was that when Abraham had to take Isaac, and he thought he was going to have to sacrifice Isaac, he had to practice like the ultimate restriction. And in the end, it's like he found out that like it was the thing that was the hardest for him to do, that ultimately like that sacrifice opened up the ultimate miracle. In that instance, there was the ram that was sent as the sacrifice. And even then, the angel was there going like, hey, you actually don't have to do this. It was just a test. And he's like, I don't know. This could be my ego playing with me. Like even the father of all of the religions that sprung like had to make sacrifices and go against himself and go against his fears and confusion, and was still confused within the test, right? He was like, I feel like this is what I'm supposed to do. It doesn't make sense. I am feeling like if I don't do it, I'm like gonna be like it's like I have to do this, but I don't know why. And then it's like, oh, save the day. There's the last minute like reprieve. Like, oh, so I don't have to do this. Wait, but am I not supposed to still push myself through my comfort zone? So what's the answer to the test? Like even Abraham went through that, and God had to show up and be like, hey, I gave you the ram, you passed the test. Like the ultimate restriction for Isaac was an adult at this point. He wasn't like a small child. He had to practice the restriction of letting go, of letting it happen, of allowing, right? Because Abraham had spent his whole life sharing. He had the mercy, or he had the tikkun on the side of mercy. So he had to do something that was the hardest for him, was not being merciful. It was being ruthless and doing what had to be done. And even though it killed him to do so, he had to let go. And that was the hardest for him. For Isaac's life was all about, judgment. And, he was coming from that cocoon of judgment where he was receiver, self-centered, but also had a problem receiving what, he needed to receive and things. So he had all this judgment and chaos. So his practice of restriction in that moment was allowing the fates to just do what they will, and acceptance, and giving himself over to the creator to do what he will, and letting go and accepting and doing the action that he thought was right, even though it went against his nature. It was the hardest thing for him to do was to make the sacrifice of himself, to lay down his flesh, to take an action for someone else of sharing. So in that moment they came together. The ram was sent as the replacement, and so the miracle happened. And so that's kind of the season we're in right now. It's like this miracle can happen. We are being tested, but we know that for weeks now we've been being led up to being shown, okay, what are these things that really need to come up to go on the altar, to be sacrificed, to be let go of, right? Some might fall away, some might actually take off, some might be given back to you, but it's about being willing to release and surrender and be certain that no matter what happens, the light of the creator is in control, and ultimately the light of the creator in that path is going to lead to my ultimate fulfillment. It's going to be in alignment with my purpose, and I am using my free will to choose to place myself in affinity with the light. And it takes my choice of taking those actions, that discipline, because it's every time we have to choose. Free will is a choice every time. I would love it if God would use me as just a puppet, and he would take over control. She would take over control, but that's not how it works. We have to choose. That's our side of the deal. That's the rent we pay to be here in the physical world. And without the process, there's no reason for us to be here. So in that way, it's like, hey, our flaws give us a reason to be here. So we don't have to hate on ourselves for them. This is our work to do in this life. But at the same time, we don't want to shirk our responsibility to elevating those parts of ourselves either, because that's also the cost of being here. And if you keep generating negativity that causes death and separation, then your judgment will get worse and worse, and the chaos will increase, and there also will not be a reason for you to be here because you will be causing more damage. So it's about embracing all of it and doing the best you can, and then learning to give yourself compassion and also give compassion to others. When anger comes up, can you practice compassion? It's difficult. It's not the reflex response, it's a discipline. But, little by little, can you even choose to want to start practicing compassion? That's the first step, right? You can just say, you know what? Holy Spirit, I'm not doing too good in this moment. I'm feeling triggered. I'm feeling angry, but I want to choose differently. I want to see this differently. I want to be able to feel compassion and act in compassionate ways. And I'm willing to choose differently, willing to see this differently. Help me, show me what you got, And that's a start. So it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be your willingness and following through. The danger is when the more you know, the more that you know better, and the more dangerous your actions and the consequences of your actions are. It's like that direct supervision of the light. It's like the more you know better, the more strict the nun is standing over you and swatting you with the ruler as soon as you mess up. So be advised. Don't go any further in this workshop if you're not ready to make positive changes and awaken and transform. All right, so let's do a Celtic cross. Some people say Celtic. It might be Celtic. I don't know. I am Southern and I say things wrong sometimes, but it feels more comfortable for me to say Celtic. So we'll just be compassionate. There's a lot more astrology going on right now, but I feel just guided to like get right into the workshop. We do have Venus finally going direct and Mercury is going retrograde. So you may now having been going through the last 40 days, reevaluating like what you really like value in love, money, security, what's in alignment with those values for you, and thinking back even to like 8 years ago, how are these lessons coming up? Ooh, it's another thing I meant to say is that if you don't pass these tests, it's like they will come back every year in a very similar form, maybe with the same people, maybe with the same scenarios, until you do pass those. So you'll notice like repetitious like synchronicities if you keep getting these similar tests. Go back, really dig deep. Okay, how can I pass this time? What were the commonalities before that I wasn't seeing that maybe I've grown in my experience and I can discern a little better now? So that's our chance right now with these retrogrades. You might have people showing up in your, scope in some ways, and you can say, why is this person showing up? Who do they remind me of? What does this situation remind me of? What is this energy telling me right now? Is this good? Is this a positive thing, or is this reminding me of something maybe that I need to heal? Just like really take a look at what's showing up right now. And then if good things are showing up, are you resisting them, or do you have doubt that those things can happen for you? So just take a look at those things. And then also the moon's north node and south node have shifted fully into the north node being in Aries and the south node being in Libra. So we're letting go of the ways that we were overly codependent or indecisive or overly accommodating or abandoning ourselves for the sake of, keeping the peace with others. That's Libra's shadow side. All the ways that we were indecisive and haven't been able to take decisive action, like that can be, a Libra thing. But also Aries, it's like and also in Libra, like the south nodes are what we already understand now, and now we're leaving them behind. It's like, okay, what have we taken from our interrelational dynamics with people? What have we learned? What are we not doing anymore? Like, what are we not doing in our relationships with people? And what are we not accepting? Where are our boundaries? What are we not doing anymore, and what are we doing going forward? So it's like we're different now in the way that we're showing up in our relationships. Aries in the north node is like how we view ourselves and how we're showing up and how we're showing up in the world. And so the kind of person that we are is actually changing, and we're stepping up into that self where we're like, okay, I'm cutting past my bullshit. Like, I'm ready to really step up and step into the plate and step up to the plate and step into my potential. Stop holding myself back. That's not a mouthful there. There's a lot of us in here. But yeah, and how can I move forward and get over these same lessons that come up over and over again? So whatever this card is us in the context of this moment, unavoidable fate. So whatever is happening at this moment in time, it's like what we said, it's like the universe is bringing us again this test, and it's up to us to discern, just like Abraham was confused, what is my ego and what is the divine guidance here, right? And it's probably like, what's the hardest thing for you to do? But this is an unavoidable moment. So don't beat yourself up for being in this situation. You're supposed to be here where you are now. It's just that you are like in this gauntlet, or like the hero going through an initiation, or a champion going through an obstacle course. It's like, this is just what was meant to face you at this moment. So it's like using your skill and your wisdom and your the virtues that you've developed now to be able to navigate what's probably going to be difficult. So Godspeed. Okay, what is the influence that is crossing us at this moment? What is the influence that is crossing us at this moment? Okay, I'm seeing rest and recuperate, but this card seemed to want to... This is from the ego, and what was this? Say what you've been needing to say. So, okay, the ego is up to its usual tricks, meaning it is triggering you, and it is playing with you in all the ways that it always has. And so, what are those common ways that your ego has tripped you up, has gotten in the way? And the ego can be grandiose. It can be self-deprecating, you know, it can cause you to sell yourself short, or, you know, trip yourself up or wreck a situation. So maybe, you know, just be super aware, because the ego card has been coming up all week. This is who we've been facing off with for the last several days. The ego is up to its usual tricks. How are you being triggered by fear, lack, or doubt in this moment? How are you being tempted with greed, lust, or power? Is this about status, validation, or approval? Is this coming from a sense of despair or despondency? So watch yourself this week. And over the next 2 weeks of this waning cycle, letting go of all the ways that the ego has been, you know, holding you back and tripping you up and keeping you stuck in the same patterns. Say what you needed to say came up next to that. So don't be afraid to speak your truth in a loving, compassionate way. You know, silencing yourself completely isn't the answer either, because that's too extreme. So you have a voice that's meaningful as well. So if you feel like your ego is self-abandoning because you feel like you can't say what you need to say because you're putting everybody else's needs first, that might be that shadow side of Libra that's coming up. Something needs to be said or clarified. You won't know until you say something. Clear the air. Put your cards on the table. An honest discussion will act as a catalyst. You won't know until you speak up. So, you know, sometimes it's just about saying what you need to say, and it doesn't matter what happens after that. You know, it doesn't matter what the result is. Sometimes the universe just wants you to say something. And then sometimes it doesn't, you know, and a lot of times you need to really ask yourself, why am I saying this? What is my motive? Am I trying to manipulate? Am I trying to control? Is there an outcome I want from this? Is there something in it for me if I tell this, or if I say this, or is this something that, like, a truth that needs to be spoken for real, for the sake of both parties? So that's always an act of discernment and restriction as well. Okay, what is the underlying, emotional renewal. So the underlying influence right now that's really coming up is emotional healing. And I think that we've been really seeing evidence of our emotional healing coming up lately. I think that we've been seeing ourselves slowly but surely bouncing back, or feeling stronger, or getting more clarity, or at least seeing the things that have been tripping us up, so that now we feel at least empowered to do something with that and do something about it. So emotional renewal is, and it's so funny, it's like now with Rosh Hashanah coming up, it's like we get that dry clean soul, and so it's like, here, let's just read. A dark cloud is lifting, epiphanies, a new outlook, transformation. You're truly on the mend. On your way to healing, a brighter outlook, rejuvenation, recovering from burnout, managing depression, having done the work, able to leave the past behind, right? Oh my God, so much of this, it's like we finally are able to let go of this baggage, these subconscious impulses that have been controlling us and driving us. Like, we see them clear enough now where we can start to really leave them behind, and we're starting to build a new foundation to build upon for ourselves. So very exciting. So what is the recent lesson from the past, or a past lesson that is finally starting to integrate and dissipate? What are we finally getting out of the influence of? This is going to be a problem. So things that have been problematic and stirring up issues and creating chaos for you, like if we're doing this emotional healing work, like that, those kinds of things like won't really be hounding you as much anymore. It's like past these tests now. Like the more fully you can lean in to this moment and finding that balance for you of what needs to be done right now. What is it in you that needs to transform? What needs to be changed? What needs to be let go of? It's like these things, they won't continue to be a problem. And it's like sometimes even just to have the desire to do the work, we have to believe that it's even going to change anything. And so maybe that's also sort of what's been holding us back, is like this like self-protective, the ego protection of, hey, don't get your hopes too high, you know, put some effort in, whatever, it may or may not work, fuck it. And like that is an easy way to bypass letting go. It's like that's kind of like resign. Letting go is, man, I really want this to happen, I want this to be real, I don't know if it will or not, but like I'm willing to like take the pain of having it taken from me or letting it go if it's not the right thing, in order to be in alignment with the divine path for me and have affinity with the light. Okay, so what is then crowning us? What has the potential to come into being right now as we let these things go? And, you know, the things that were formerly creating a lot of static or challenges in our life are now like being healed and they're dissipating. So it's the destiny you choose. And so needs planning and pay attention to your dreams. So right now, what's crowning us is our potential to choose where we go next. That's the thing. It's like, it's up to us to take our destiny into our own hands and not resign ourselves to unavoidable fate. Yes, the unavoidable fate is happening. It's like, but what do you do with it? And you know what? You focus your intention on planning and going towards that destiny, that potential, that fulfillment, taking action on that, like seeing what needs to be done in order to make these dreams come true. Pay attention to your dreams, right? And then pay attention to your nightly dreams too. That's a way that like the Creator, the Holy Spirit will speak to you and guide you. But dreams are really symbolic and they don't always mean what they seem. So dreammoods.com is a really good resource that I like to use. It feels Jungian in nature. And it's very much in alignment with my dreams and then the way that I grow up learning to interpret dreams as well. So needs more planning. Get focused on building your dreams, and you might have insight and direction that's coming from your nightly dreams, but put your focus on that and that drive and that desire to go after what you want. And remember that now that subconscious belief that what you want is possible for you, right? It's just, you've got to do the work of choosing to take actions, choosing to put your focus in what is going to yield you results and not letting it dissipate on things that are just not serving at the moment. Okay, what's coming up? This is from the heart. So keep the love tank full. Okay, core authentic desires. So what is coming up around the corner is something that is going to be really heart-centered and something that's really from the heart and something you can be wholehearted about. It's going to be in alignment with your core authenticity and what you really desire. And make sure that thing is, and don't settle for less than that. Core authentic desires, divine guidance, purpose, passion, influenced by a higher love, may seem illogical, but that is certainty. That certainty is faith beyond reason. It's not logical, but you know deep down something is guiding you that's higher than you, and you know. The heart is ahead of the brain. Insight that holds truth, big truth, and that might be the truth that you need to say, or that truth, maybe it's not that you need to literally say it, but something that that needs to be realized and said to yourself maybe. Be aware that if pain or the individual, be aware that if pain or the individual is asleep, be aware that if the heart is in pain or if the individual is asleep, that the heart can be misinterpreted. Oh, okay, so be aware when you're like following your heart, listen to your heart, that the heart has duality, that there is this pure part of the heart that will lead you in the right direction, but there is a shadow side of the heart that's been wounded and that can lead you astray. So be mindful to practice discernment, to be aware that if the heart is in pain or if the individual is asleep, not awakened, that the heart can be misinterpreted. So be aware of that and be discerning as you go forward. Okay, this is going to be the perspective that's affecting us right now. And many times it can be a negative perspective that's affecting us. You are abundant. So right now it's like being in the state, the mindset of abundance is going to yield more abundance. If you are in lack, then you are going to start manifesting more lack. So be in the state, keep maintaining the perception and the faith and the optimism of being in abundance. Act in faith, knowing that what you need will be provided. Pray as though it is already yours and it will be done unto you. Your cup runneth over. You have so much to share. Cultivate and enjoy a sense of abundance, right? Give from a place of overflow. That means that fill your love tank first. And that card kind of popped out earlier. It was like, this is from the heart, but love tank, keep your love tank full was with it. Okay. So the outside influence right now, this card is like pushing itself at me. Your destiny is calling you. The time is now. Answer the call. The world needs your gifts. You have something unique to share. I'm going to pull one more card on that, how the outside influence is affecting us right now. Deservingness is the key to unlocking your manifestation. This card showed itself to me when I was shuffling at some point, so then I know this is supposed to come up. So what is affecting you from the outside right now is that you are being pulled towards your destiny, but it's your sense of deservingness of it that is keeping you blocked right now, and that's the thing that needs to shift. Okay, so what is representative of our hopes and fears right now? What do we need to know about our hopes and fears? Because they're inextricably related. So we have creation phase 3, and this is part of the journey. So our hopes and fears right now, it's like literally like we hope we get what we want, and we're afraid that we're not going to get what we want, and we fear that what we hope doesn't, like we hope that what we fear doesn't come to pass. And so right now, that is the essence of creation phase 3. It's like you're in this dark where you don't know, there is no certainty. You just have to choose the certainty and keep moving forward as if it were already a done deal. So be in that state. Stand in the posture of that higher self. Set that energetic thermostat no matter what, and be there in it and stay in it. That is your discipline. That is your devotion. Because this right now is all part of the journey. It's like you're in a simulation, right? It's like you have on these virtual reality glasses. And if you knew that this was a game and that you were earning points every time you overcame your own shit, how would you play differently, right? How would you play differently if you expected all of these tests to come and you weren't taking it personally? You were just like, okay, yeah, this is part of the game. I actually paid. I came here and paid to do this, right? This is fun. So start thinking of it that way. Just expect, right? Not in a negative way, like a self-fulfilling, like gloom and doom way, but just know, like, life is going to bring you shit. Don't take it personally. This is part of the challenge. This is part of the initiation. Creation phase 3, pushing past your comfort zone. Oh my gosh, my efforts seem to be yielding very little. But if it's something that is deep and alive within you, then there's a reason why there's still some part of you that's like, I can't give this up. And that's when you've got to double down. Go harder. Go even harder. I am tired. My allergies are killing me right now, but like I'm doing this workshop. I did my TikTok video before this. Every part of my physical consciousness wants to be lazy and just self-nurture, but the part of me that's the channel for the light is like, go harder. You still need to show up. This still needs to be said. This is the message that needs to get out for others. So it's not about you. There's something bigger than you that needs to be done. This is part of the journey. So pushing past your comfort zone, continuing to give and believe, and that's the thing that'll unlock the miracle. And then what is our final outcome right now? What is the final outcome of this? Forgiveness is what is being asked for. Ooh, and graduation. So graduation, the lesson is being learned, the more you can forgive. This is affecting everything. Forgive to unblock stagnant, toxic grudge. Forgive to unblock stagnant, toxic, grudge, stalemate, bandage. Liberate yourself. Call your power back. Leaking energy. What you're not forgiving, you're leaking all your energy to. It's exhausting. Forgiveness will heal the wound. So right now, it's like forgiveness is what's being asked for. Keep pushing forward. Keep following your dreams. Keep showing up in the way that only you can. And this is part of the journey, and knowing that, and just, you're so close. Don't give up on yourself yet. Don't resign yourself to despair. Don't blow a circuit now, right? Just hang on, just get through it a little longer, right? We've got a couple of months longer to be good. Like there is a period after Rosh Hashanah where it's like you're still in this like you get all this goodness and this light on Rosh Hashanah, but it's almost like you get bonus round if like you can hang on for another like 20 or so days afterwards to just really like establish the new soul for yourself without a short circuit. It's amazing. So if you can, highly recommend. Let's get a few cards to clarify. Actually, let's do, no, we'll do these first. So let's get a few cards to tie it all together. Our theme, okay, we've got Knight of Swords, so really going after what we want, seeing what needs to be done, being decisive and quick to our action. Eight of Pentacles, this is about getting in there, doing the work, being the, excited student to be the apprentice and get into the process for the sake of the process. But yeah, this is about self-mastery. It's about refining a skill. It's about putting in the work for a long-term project. So this is creation phase 2 and 3 in one card. It's 8 of Pentacles. So it's like 4 and 4, right? Stability, discipline, but also not blocking yourself off to restriction. We've got 4 of Swords right here. Take a break. This is a chance, a pause, meditation, self-renewal, self-rejuvenation. Put your mind at ease. Give yourself a rest. Give it a rest, right? Because soon 6 of Wands is coming. Victory is assured. So stop worrying and just settle and let the healing happen, and just assume that it's already a done deal for you, that everything is already worked out perfectly, and there's no reason to worry. There's no reason to lose sleep. It's like rest and recuperate. That card also came up, rest and recuperate. And I didn't mention it, but I saw it when we were shuffling, so it came up now. Rest and recuperate. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't drive yourself, too hard. And give yourself a chance to heal. But then, like, the more that you heal, the more quickly things will move forward. All right, let's get a Moonology card for this Pisces full moon. What do we need to know for the next coming 2 weeks? What are we really releasing, letting go of? What do we need to know? Oh my gosh, new moon eclipse, expect powerful change. Oh my gosh, and that purple aura around the moon, that Pisces purple, expect powerful change to come. New moon eclipse. This is like what has been uncovered is being revealed now. And huge new things are happening. Divine feminine healing there. Manifestation, but yes, big, deep internal transformation. But when the eclipse happens, it's like something that has been unknown is now known. And in this way, it's the new moon eclipse. So it's a moon eclipse. So it's about like internal drives and motivations, our emotional realm, like our thought realm, our psyche, the soul level, the energetic level, the spiritual level is changing. Okay, let's get a tarot card from the Angel Wisdom Tarot about the nature of the next 2 weeks during this waxing cycle. I feel like that one kind of standing out to me. Ooh, 2 of Swords. So yeah, again, getting over that Libra shadow side of indecisiveness, like your energy is in a stalemate. It's like, you want this, it's in your destiny, but there's something in you that just doesn't feel like you can have it, or it's not possible. And it's related to that sense of deservingness. And there's like this scarcity mindedness that's affecting you right now. So think abundantly, pretend that, everything's going to work out. Just give yourself 2 weeks to pretend like everything's going to work out, and be insane at the level of like insanity of like, yeah, everything's just fine. It's all going to work out, and see what happens. See what kind of shift you can make if you really let yourself relax into that certainty and choose from your authentic guidance and that deep knowing, instead of that like scarce ego FOMO kind of motivation. Being unable or unwilling to make a decision. Follow your own heart rather than making others happy. Pretending there is no problem. Overanalyzing a situation. Okay, great. Now let us check in with our manifestations. This is the Mermaids and Dolphins Oracle deck. This is specifically for manifestation questions. So I'd like to check in over the next waning cycle. what is going to be, what is going to serve our energy best. What can we put our energy onto? Playtime. The dolphins know the importance of playing, as joy creates miracles in manifestation. So there's no greater energy of letting go than play. You're letting go of your, control over yourself. You're letting go of control over the situation that you were so gripped about. You're just letting go. You're being free. And so rest and recuperate. Fill your own love tank. Like, give yourself some time over the next couple of weeks to let go, play, and have fun, and see what inspiration comes through. See what kind of divine guidance comes through, because when you're in a high vibrational state, you're in affinity with the light, and you can connect with that. The light's always sharing with us. The light is continually giving us guidance and protection and miracles, but we, our lower vibrations cut us off from that. And so we have to make an effort to keep ourselves in a high vibrational state. Play is certainly a convenient, fun way to do it. Okay, so yes, your intuition is correct, and take action accordingly. So when you get these pings, as I like to call them in to be magnetic work, you are this is like that divine guidance. Like, once you start getting clear about discerning like what's authentically you and what's like your ego coming at you, then it's easier to discern like when you're really getting that divine hit, that like intuitive impulse to do something. And you take action when you're in a state of like deep self-worth and empowerment. And then it will be effective, not when you're in a state of lacking or fear. Remember that seed level. So your intuition is correct. Take action accordingly. So listen to yourself, trust yourself, get out and play, do something fun, and then see, how you feel about the issue once you come back to it. A new dawn. Oh my gosh, this was our card in last night's manifestation reading as well. So go back and watch last night's video for our oracle manifestation reading for the week. But the worst is now behind us, and positive new experiences on the horizon. This is the same card right here in that position, in the past position of things that are past lessons that are dissipating now. It's like having to learn through chaos. It's like we're finally like getting to a point where it's like we don't have to. Like we're practicing all of this so that we can start actually living a life where it's not based on learning from our mistakes, but learning from our successes too. So just even being able to believe that that's possible, that things can get better. A new dawn is coming. Like the worst is behind us. I'm obsessed with this card. Okay, and last card for our manifestations for the next 2 weeks is we just let go, trust our intuition, know that the worst is behind us, and positive new experiences are on the horizon. Okay, and just wait. Now it's all about letting it come together and allowing. Don't rush into action right now. Bide your time for better results. So 4 of Swords, meditate, play, do the healing work. Don't rush forward. Something is still cooking. There's still healing or whatever. There are things that are outside of your control and influence that might not be you. There are, like when we're manifesting, no matter what it is that we're calling in, we're dealing with other people in this world that have their own free will and their own sense of timing. And so, just getting like a crew to work together, right? It's like, it's not all about like, you can bring all of your talent and potential to the table, but it kind of takes everybody else working together too. So right now, don't get down on yourself or obsess that if things aren't happening right now, it's all because of you, right? Maybe it's not. So just wait, relax, keep yourself in a positive state, and just expect the best. All right, and take action in the meantime. Don't just sit around. Okay, romance. What can we do? What will best serve us for our love lives over the next couple of weeks? What is going to be the best course of action? How can we get out of our own way? Ooh, that one really had something to say. Playfulness. Okay, so being really lighthearted about any situation right now is the way to go. Just taking a lighthearted approach. Let go. Don't be so serious. Just have fun with it. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit and spirit of fun to shine. So yeah, have a good time. Extend your playful energy. Have fun. Be open. Okay, what else do we need to know for the next couple of weeks? Where'd you go? Okay, retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. So again, Four of Swords. Wait, don't rush into action. Don't push anything. Like, just have a good time. Don't feel like anything needs to be like, you know, don't feel like you need any answers right now. Just relax, chill. Go take a walk with yourself. You know, spend some time alone. Don't push the agenda right now, right? This is a waning energy. It's about letting go and allowing. So allow, you know, things to play out. Allow the dust to settle. Allow things to ferment and gestate, and just be playful and relax and let go of obsessing in your mind even. Here again, let go of the, like, don't think about it so much. Like, you know, the preoccupation between the pleasure and the pain of it all. It's like keeping it all stuck in a stalemate. So just let it go. Have a good time. The energy will shift. Things will move and things will be better. You know, maybe there's a chance for you and that person to have some alone time away from like everything else over the next week. But I feel like this is more about just like being more about you over the next couple of weeks, and allowing, you know, those opportunities to come up and not initiating them necessarily. Flirt, extend your lighthearted energy to others. So this is really just affirming that, again, not to take everything so seriously right now. Just give it a rest for a couple of weeks and just have fun, be lighthearted, and just be in the moment. You know, flirting is about being in the moment, and it's not necessarily about throwing, you know, crass energy at someone. You know, it's just about having a good time and being uninhibited and not being too self-conscious. And, you know, don't be, you know, be aware of how you're presenting yourself. But yeah, just have a lighthearted sense of playfulness with people and don't take things so seriously at the moment. Trust is coming up. Ooh, and deception. Someone is wearing a false mask or sense of self in this relationship. So again, like, trust that if you be you, you do you. Don't push anything right now. Just let things play out and continue to be lighthearted and playful and flirtatious and your own fun self. Get in that state and that vibration, like a little glass of champagne. Trust that the universe, that God is taking care of it all, that what is not for you will be revealed. And don't, like, be your true self, right? Don't hide who you are. Be the authentic you. And if there's others in your realm that are not being authentic to you, then that will be revealed also. Also, don't lie to yourself. Don't believe someone else's lies because you want to believe them, right? So get serious, get for real, cut through the crap. Like, look through the masks that people wear. What kind of front are they putting on, and what's really below the surface, or like, who's someone really? All right. Now let us go to Mother Mary for the motherly advice that we need right now from Jesus' mother, Mary. Mary, Mother of Angels. What do we need to know? Does Mother Mary want us to know? What does Mother Mary think we should do over the next couple of weeks? How should we approach this? Ooh, quiet and forgiveness. Oh, girl, you just said it again. So quiet. I go into peaceful silence and I listen. That is a divine feminine energy right there. That is the Pisces energy. It's like, go deep within and listen. Be silent, be still. Go retreat, go on quiet walks by yourself in the woods for a while. Go sit next to a body of water and just gaze at it and let, you know, the thoughts come and watch them, and don't get caught up in the narrative, but like observe what is all that saying? What is all that telling you? Be quiet, be still, be peaceful, and listen. Four of Swords. Wait, you know, rest and recuperation. So many of these things coming up. And then Mother Mary is agreeing that it is forgiveness what's being asked for right now that will heal the situation. So I'm willing to release old resentment so that I can enjoy my life. Excuse me, sneeze. I am willing to release old resentment so that I may enjoy my life. So this is about setting yourself free from resentment. It's like, it's not worth it. It feels like shit to resent someone. It feels like shit to be angry. It feels like shit to be sad and depressed. It's like sometimes we do need to feel these feelings. We don't need to bypass them. We don't need to ignore them, or else they'll be stored inside. And so it's like being able to be in that moment and fully feel it and face it and be with it as long as we need to, but digest and process and transform. Don't hold on. Don't let it stagnate. Don't let it become toxic. Don't keep circling back around. Don't keep holding on to the ego story, the ego narrative. It's like you've got to process. You've got to let it go. But then you need to come to like some kind of wisdom and like understanding on the other side of it too, so that it's given you something. And then at that point you can really be grateful for whatever was that happened, and that's like the true, like that's the deepest forgiveness right there, is when you can be like, wow, I'm actually grateful that that person did that to me, or I'm grateful that that thing didn't work out. I would have been blah, 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 you know? So you just never know. So that level of gratitude is like the deepest level of the forgiveness, where you're like, wow, not only am I set free from this, but I've like been given like some extra, like, you know, extra Mario juice. And then last, but certainly not least, Jesus gets the last word. What does he have to say? This is so Pisces. This would be the Pisces verse. Like, you know how like Pisces birthstone, Pisces tarot card. This is Pisces Jesus quote. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. So when you want truth, when you want wisdom, when you want healing, when you want change, when you want Christ consciousness, you have to knock. You have to go seeking. You have to ask. But when you knock, that door will be open, because the creator, the light, is always sharing. It's our vessel. That's where the door is, right? That can open and close, open and close. It's like, what is the state of the vessel right now? You know, we're always preparing the vessel. We're always strengthening the vessel. The vessel is greatly determined by, you know, how big is it? How deep is your self-worth? How strong is the vessel? How strong is your trust? How strong is your certainty? So yes, it's always flowing. The miracles are always flowing in. The truth is always flowing in. The illumination, the revelation, the ability to miraculously change your consciousness in an instant and be fully redeemed like that, like we are in our depths, you know, we are whole, we are fully redeemed. But it's like that conscious mind, that the operating part of us that's not always connected. And so knock, and that door is open. The knocking is the beating the door down. Let me in, let me in. No, are you gonna keep knocking if you're turned away? Because sometimes, look, that door, that's heavy. It's, you know, but it's like you keep knocking, that door is open. It's unlocked. You keep knocking, all you have to do is pull. It's a pull and push every time. All right, you guys, well, I think that's enough for us to consider. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Have a happy Pisces full moon. Good luck as you are releasing things. If I were you, I would go after this and write in a journal about the things that you're ready to let go of, the things that you've been observing lately that are coming up that have been triggering you in your ego, that you want to let go of, that have been holding you back. Things that are in your like unconscious motivators that have been driving you to be impulsive, that have been self-destructive, that have been holding you back. What are these things you're ready to move on from? What are you kind of done with? What do you don't really have an interest in doing anymore? You know, what kinds of things are you wanting to call in that feel more in alignment for you? And what do you think is just creating clutter in your energy and in your emotions and in your thoughts and even in your schedule or your life or in your surroundings physically that you can get rid of that's been holding you back? Think about those things that want to be released. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Ciao.